Hello, hi, welcome to Monster Masquerade. I am Faye.
I am Mint. We are robots.
Robots. Fighting dinosaurs. Hello, hi, it's Pride Month.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. It's everybody who is gay. It's their birthday.
That's true.
Congrats.
I read that somewhere.
Have a cake and pie, and also ice cream.
I want pie. Anyway, today we're talking about
Fear Street, 1994.
the year after I was born.
That is 1 year before me. I feel like I'm bringing that sleepover energy today.
Oh yeah, I know I am. I went to Fan Expo this weekend and it was the most overstimulating anything I've ever done. And so Saturday night I was like, I'm so overstimulated, and my friends went to the club and I was like, I'm gonna just stay here and drink by myself. Well, no, bad. Unsupervised drinking mint is bad. Cause then I after a couple I'm like, oh, I'm fine.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm not fine. And I sent my friend multiple videos of me just explaining the plot of Crimson Peak.
How many Mikus did you see?
I didn't see any Mikus, actually.
No Mikus at the Fan Expo?
I didn't see any. I'm sure they were there, but I didn't see any. I was looking at the ground quite often.
That's fair.
So I missed out a lot of cosplays, but there was a really cool Ryuk cosplayer from Death Note.
Oh.
Who was sick. He was to scale.
I saw your Instagram picture, and
Yeah.
it was just slightly out of focus, like you were moving while taking it.
Oh yeah, I was. I didn't want to stop him because he was clearly trying to get to the food court, right?
Uh-huh.
And he was getting stopped. He'd take one step and get stopped, and I was like, I'm not going to stop this poor guy. He just wants to make it to the food court. But that was the coolest cosplay I saw. There was also, okay, let's talk for a second.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about masks and tactical gear. Do they do anything for you?
Is it attractive?
Yeah.
Not. I don't think Call of Duty
No. There was an SCP cosplayer with the full get up, the full black harness with the thingies, and I was like,
are we talking Leon? Like Leon do sometimes?
No, a little bit more than Leon.
I would say no.
But
probably.
not the camo, just the all black. Anyway, there was a lot of that, and I was like, hello. And there was a lot of Ghostface, and I was like, hello.
Uh-huh. I have seen tactical Ghostface before.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Anyway, so that was the highlight of my weekend. I was just
That's
being
funny.
a weirdo.
No, I don't think usually military things don't
That's
do it
valid.
for me.
That's valid.
I don't even know how to pivot to the episode from that. This does not have military in it.
No.
At all.
Well, I don't like the military. Let me make it clear. I don't like the military, but their little
Just the
outfits. Not
gear.
even the camo. Not the camo. Camo's ugly.
Stealth.
Yes. Anyway. Fear Street, Part 1.
Fear Street. We're talking about the first movie, not the entire series. I mean, we will be talking about the series, just not all at once.
For the first time ever, we're not talking about it all at once.
We're going to do a 3-part, one for each movie. I almost said episode. It's one episode for each movie.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yay.
And it'll be my second time watching through all of them, and your first time watching through the sequels, right?
Yeah, I haven't watched the other two, but I have watched this one twice now.
Yes. I very much like this series. I think it's fairly easy to consume. It's just, it's good popcorn movie, I feel like.
It is.
Like if it had released in theaters like it was intended to, we probably would have gone to it and had so much snacks.
Oh yeah, snacks. It is a good slumber party movie because it's just very, I don't know, it's got like the humor.
It's an homage to like several different subgenres of horror, and it's like it is technically like R.L. Stein's Fear Street. If you didn't know, I think we talked about this in the Goosebumps episode, was targeted towards like a teenage demographic, and so it was supposed to be like a bit darker and stuff. So like there's some teenage melodrama a la like Stranger Things, right? Where it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't listen to these children talk about.
They?
At least there's there's a love triangle for like the first 15 minutes before that dude beefs it. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's never like the focus.
But there are also like some aspects where this series just does not pull any punches, like especially in regards to its kills, and it's very gay. It's very gay. So I wanted to talk about it. So you had seen this one before. Do you like this one?
I like this one. I enjoy this one. There's some really good kills. I had forgotten about one of them that we'll discuss later, and then I memory unlocked when I saw it. I was like, oh. I was like, oh no, I know what's about to happen.
I want to give you my fun fact about that scene right now, just because like I don't want the possibility of us missing it.
Okay. So well, then we'll just talk about that scene.
If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. Go watch the entire series. I don't know. You could probably do it in like an afternoon.
Yeah, you can.
All right. So in the scene, probably the most brutal kill in this movie, right, where they shove the teenage girl's head into a bread slicer, and it's so gnarly.
So gnarly. It slices so cleanly.
So gross. Lee Janiak had written the script, right, and included that, and then the art team went up to her and was like, "Hey, I really think we need to like rethink this kill because there's no way that a human head would like go through a bread slicer." And she was like, "No, like it definitely would. Trust me." And they were like, "You know what? We're going to test that right now. We're going to take this watermelon and prove to you that it's not going to work." And so they took a watermelon and shoved it through the bread slicer, and it worked and went splat. And they were like, "Okay, yeah, we can keep the head slicing scene now."
They had to Mythbusters it.
Yeah, I mean, new fear unlocked, I guess, but I'm glad I'm glad it worked. I don't think I've asked you this before, but you hadn't read any of the Fear Street books, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I've gone through a couple of them. Some of them are like funky. The one I remember most, well, there's two I remember actually. One of them, a girl steals a locket and starts like turning into a cat.
Junji Ito style.
It turns out her family is just a bunch of werecats, and it wasn't like a curse from the locket.
Just a coincidence.
The other one I remember is like a bunch of friends go on a ski trip after one of them has like lost their memory or whatever. And while they're up there, like they slowly start dying off, and one of them like gets their head chopped off while they're skiing because they had like set up barbed wire between trees or something, and it just sliced.
Oh, that's brutal.
Interestingly enough, these movies aren't based on any like specific books within the series or stories. It's just like the general vibe and like a couple character names.
Oh, so these aren't like straight from the books.
Yeah. And in fact, like the name Fear Street is derived from characters whose last name is Fear. It's spelled different, right? But in the movie, you have Sarah Fear, who is accused of being a witch and has cursed the town. And then you have the like sheriff and his brother, who are the goods, right? In the books, it's flipped. So the Fears are the bad ones, and they kill some like pilgrim women from the good family. And so that's like what starts all the hauntings and stuff in the book series. But here it's just like reversed.
Always the penguins? The penguins? I was gonna say always the pilgrims, and I said always the penguins. What?
Not the penguins, not during Pride Month. Did you know penguins can be gay?
I did.
They love each other.
I love penguins.
Fear Street is missing penguins.
Yeah, there are no penguins in Fear Street.
Yeah. All right, so would you like some more fun behind the scenes facts?
Yes, please.
So they'd actually been trying to make a Fear Street movie since 1997.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it was just in development hell for like the longest time. We talked about how big like Goosebumps was just as a franchise in terms of the books and the TV show and stuff like that. So they'd been trying to make Fear Street for a very long time and didn't get anywhere until like 2015 is when they really started to like work towards it. At the same time, in 2015, a Goosebumps movie starring Jack Black came out, right?
Mm-hmm. I still haven't seen that movie.
That movie and its sequel were owned and distributed by Sony, and Fear Street at this point was owned by Fox, who had just gotten bought out by Disney.
Oh.
Or they would be bought out by Disney in a couple years. So it's like my theory that like because of that kind of competition, they probably don't want to confuse. It could go either two ways, right? You could release your Fear Street movies like to time out with the Goosebumps, and it could go really well, or like people get confused and then nobody goes to see your movie, right? That's kind of my theory. Is they saw that like, oh hey, there's a Goosebumps movie out right now. Oh hey, they're making a sequel. Let's just cancel it. We're just gonna hold off for now. And so they held off for another like 4 years until like 2019 when they brought on Lee Janiak, who co-wrote and revised the script into what we have now.
Well, it's a really good script.
Yeah, at this point, the plan was as soon as Janiak got involved to shoot these 3 movies back to back. She wasn't initially intending to direct all 3, but she like fell in love with the project and the folks she was working with. So she was like, yeah, I'll stick it out for all 3 movies, which is very, very cool. And I feel like doesn't happen a ton. Like the only other example I can really think of is like Peter Jackson with like the Lord of the Rings and stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So at this point, Fox owns it, and so they spend February to September of 2019, like filming everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they had planned to release all 3 movies within the span of a year, kind of like Netflix did, just like theatrically, right? But then Fox got sold to Disney, and the pandemic happened. So
womp womp.
So during that time frame, Netflix acquired the rights and they distributed it like in 3 weeks. So they did like 1 movie. I'm pretty sure my memory is like a little hazy from then, but they did like a weekly release of the 3 movies. Mm-hmm. Like right around the time that we were doing the Texas Chainsaw House, actually.
Oh.
So I remember like talking to you about that.
Yeah.
And being like, we should watch these sometime.
Oh, yeah. And now we finally are. After all these years.
Now we're watching.
I kept planning to watch the other 2 and then just never did. I do that with like a lot of stuff though.
That's okay. You also aren't like a big camp horror person, which is the second movie.
I think I can do it. Like camp horror is fine, but I've never been into it. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like teenagers are gonna do it. Then they're gonna get stabbed. And it's like,
yeah. And there's a little bit of that for sure, but there's also like there's good stuff in the next one. Each movie is kind of based, like I mentioned, off of different genres, with this first one being like mostly influenced by Scream and other like 90s slasher flicks.
It's so
and then
good.
The second one is like campy Friday the 13th, 70s, 80s vibes. And then the third part is like we're going back to the Pilgrims, kind of like the witch.
The witch.
The witch.
I love that movie. I'm so excited for the third one, honestly.
I think you'll like that one.
Yeah.
It'll be good. This movie does a lot to mimic the style of Scream. They also like share a composer. Marco Beltrami worked on the music for Fear Street and Scream.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And so like it's very cool as you're watching this franchise. It almost like, I know they're all movies. This one was like almost 2 hours long.
It's a pretty long movie.
But it kind of feels like a mini series. So it's like weird to talk about in that regard.
It's an interesting way that they formatted it.
Yeah, but I think it's cool watching like the visual language and just the colors and everything change with each one. So this one has like a very production heavy feel to it. Like it's using dollies and tripods, and it feels like very stationary when it needs to. The opening is like almost shot for shot in some places, like very similar to the opening of the first Scream movie.
It is very similar. So I love the opening to this movie. The opening to this movie is great.
It's very good, and it has Maya Hawke from Stranger Things. So she plays the Drew Barrymore role where it's like a recognizable face that we're like, oh, hey, I know her. She'll probably survive, right? Nope. She does not. There's like a shot literally where she's like running and the killer grabs her. That's like 1-for-1 with that spot where he grabs Drew Barrymore, Casey. And so it's very, you can pick up the vibes right away.
It sets up the movie really well.
There's also a very fun Easter egg because Maya's character works in like a bookstore that also has like a VHS rental type thing. So you see like books that have Robert Lawrence's name, which is what the RL in R.L. Stein stands for. So like that's neat. And then the movie that the customer is complaining about at the beginning shares the title with like the first Fear Street book.
Oh, there's so many fun facts.
Yeah, I was surprised that R.L. Stein doesn't have a cameo in this because he pops up in the Goosebumps movies and stuff.
Why didn't he?
I don't know.
Was he just busy?
I don't know if it's just like he wants to keep his brand associated with those kids' books now, or I don't know. I feel like we had talked about he had gotten into like adult horror or something like pretty recently.
Has he?
So I don't know. I don't know why.
What's he been doing?
He's probably tired.
What are you doing, R.L. Stein? What are you up to? How old is he? Oh, he's almost 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's napping. That's what he's been up to.
He's taking a nap. Would you like to know another fun fact about
please.
This?
Yes.
So, Fear Street takes place in Ohio, which is where Lee Janiak is from. I don't know why the internet hates Ohio.
Of course it's Ohio.
I see a lot of memes,
There's so many Ohio memes.
I don't. It's okay. So it takes place in Ohio. That's why it's scary. The town of Shadyside is a real place. Like there's a Shadyside, Ohio that exists. The one in the movie is based more around like the town that Lee Janiak grew up in. Huh. And she also based the rival town out of like there's a real rivalry with Shadyside, Ohio. The only difference between like the movie, besides that, there's probably a lot of differences, honestly. One, that it was filmed in Georgia, so like it doesn't look anything like Ohio. But, you know, the biggest difference between the movie version and the real life version is that there were no witches in Ohio.
Well, yeah.
So no witch trials or anything like that.
There's no witches in Ohio. Sounds like a punk or emo song.
Uh-huh. It really does. So yeah, after this cold open where we watch Maya Hawke beef it alongside the killer, who is just straight up Ghostface almost. Like it's just a skeleton mask.
Yeah, it's just Ghostface.
That character is based off of one in the books, I think, or the mask is like one of the covers for a book.
Oh, that's cool. I like the killer.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny that, to me, at least, like, obviously they're going for those Scream vibes, right? But the most memorable killer, or I feel like the one that they deal with the most in this one, is the singer, Ruby.
I love her.
From, like, the 50s.
I love her.
Just like, I wonder why they did it. Maybe they were filming it, and they were like, this one just doesn't look as interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. The funniest interactions were with her, too. Because he's like, she's so hot. And then she like stabs him and he's like, she's still hot.
She's trying to kill me, but she's hot. So even though he's the worst, he's not wrong.
He's horrible. He's so bad.
I think it's so funny. We did that horror quiz, like which character are you? And I know you didn't like your results.
No, I didn't. We can talk about it. What was yours?
I got Final Girl.
Oh my god. I would never be the final girl. There's no way. There's no way. I got the whore, so
Uh-huh. But it was put together by an author who's like working on a horror story right now. And like one of the questions is like, pick a quote from my book that most resonates from you. And one of them was just like, everybody thinks Ghostface is a little
That's
sexy,
the one I
right?
picked. I think we got it.
And I was like, yeah.
That's the one
yeah.
I picked. I got the whore. It's so unfair. Like whenever you're playing Dead by Daylight and the trickster's chasing you, and it's like, oh no, I hope I don't trip and fall. Oh no, don't hit me with your bat.
Now I keep seeing like snippets of articles where they talk about like the recording process for the Leon actor, and they were like, act like you enjoy it. And he was like, okay. So that's why Leon sounds like that. I don't know if that's actually true or if it's like
it sounds like
urban legend, but you know,
I love a good injured Leon Kennedy.
They scream for so long in Dead by Daylight. It's just anytime they get hooked, it's like 10 to 15 seconds of just like ah,
and then like some whimpering.
Yeah.
Oh, Leon. Yeah, I don't agree with mine. I'm gonna retake it.
I don't know what you could have picked I mean, there are a couple of them, like, obviously, that are like, I want to make out, like, everything's hot.
I didn't even pick all of those.
I know, that's why I'm like, what was it?
Oh, there's like a little character you can make. I didn't do that.
Yeah. Are you going to do yours after you retake the quiz?
Yeah. I'm going to take the quiz while we talk.
Okay. So, yeah, after our cold open, we're introduced to our actual main characters. So there's Dina and Sam and their friends, who I do not remember the name of. Dina has a brother named Josh, who was a Nickelodeon child, and I recognize him. He's all grown up. He plays an AOL nerd. And
he's so funny.
He has a Discord kitten relationship.
Oh yeah.
on AIM.
It's so funny.
And he's obsessed with serial killers and the occult, and he would probably listen to true crime podcasts if this took place now.
He's funny.
So yeah, we meet Dina, who is very sad because she lives in Shadyside and everything is shitty there, and every few years there's like a new serial killer that pops up or some kind of tragedy that happens. And so like the idea is that if you're from Shadyside, you're either going to be a victim or you're going to like become the person who commits these awful like tragedies, right? And so it's also like a poor city. So like we never meet Dina's dad, but there are a couple of lines where it's like, he's just an alcoholic and your mom isn't there. And it's just like, it's kind of the same thing as Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark with that sad dad in that movie. We just don't get to see this one.
We don't. I got the same result. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Whatever.
I'm so sorry.
I'm never going to be in a horror movie. It's ridiculous.
So yeah, Dina's played by Kiana Madeira, who does it. It's just like, oh my gosh, she does a great job throughout this and the third movie. I really can't wait for you to watch that one. I think you're gonna really like it.
I'm excited to watch that one too.
So yeah, Dina has just broken up with her girlfriend Sam, who we don't know is a girl until they get to a football game, or not even that. Is it a football game? I don't know. They act like it's a candlelight vigil, but also a football game.
I don't know why the band was there to play like it was a football game.
Yeah, I don't know. After Maya Hawke's character dies, who they also like kind of like Scream. They have kids like run down with like a fake version of her body like in the hallway.
Yeah, that was weird.
Gruesome. So
the kids behave very strangely in this movie, but I feel like that's all horror. Like the teens are fucking weird.
Yeah, I don't. And it's like they try to like make them inspirational at the end, like to kind of make up for the fact that they're from a shitty town and they've had like kind of iffy personalities throughout the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like one of her friends is the valedictorian and a cheerleader and also does like so many other things and is a babysitter but sells drugs because she wants to get money to get out of town or whatever. And then her friend who's awful and just like dick jokes the entire time is like, oh, but he worked 2 jobs for his family that he's been taking care of since he was like 15 and he never missed a shift. Then he's also talking about like masturbating and it's just like,
yeah,
all right.
Oh, okay dude. Cool.
It's just like it's some weird, it's so weird. There's some like disconnect there. I do feel better about the friends like towards the end, but it is kind of a slog like at the beginning to
the beginning
get
is
to where they're fine.
Like the beginning very good, and then like the meeting the characters beginning a little bit of a slog, but it's not bad.
Yeah, like the whole there's a football fight. Jesus.
Football fight.
There's a fight at the football game between the Sunnyvale people and the Shady Side folks, and we meet Sam's. I don't even think I said we don't know that Sam is gay or a girl until they confront each other, and Dina tries to give her a box full of her stuff. The movie takes place in 1994, so like homophobia is still pretty rampant.
Yeah.
But it's implied pretty much that like Sam moved to Sunnyvale because she is gay and she wants to like hide that.
It's so funny though because they're like, she's like, I'm only 30 minutes away. And then the other girl is like, might as well be like, I don't know. Like she's like, it's so far. And I'm just like, I guess.
Like the bigger issue is like her mom, who just is outright homophobic like multiple times in the movie.
Her mom is awful.
And then they smooch in front of her, and it's like, hell yeah.
They do.
Let's go, lesbians.
Let's go, lesbians.
But yes, there is a football fight at the wake. Not the wake. God, I can't. What am I saying today?
Penguins, you know.
There's a football fight at the game, which I guess doesn't happen because of the football fight. And then Sam's boyfriend is mad at Dina's friend group specifically for reasons that I don't super remember now. But then they're on the bus and he starts chasing them. And I don't know what this bus driver's doing.
Yeah, the adult should be like, I'm going to pull over.
Just not paying attention.
These children are chasing us in their car. And the other children are like
muscle car
throwing stuff out the back.
They throw a full cooler. I mean, it was an accident. They were just going to splash them or whatever. They fully throw the cooler out the emergency door. And then that finally gets them to stop. So Dina almost kills her ex-girlfriend because her nose starts to bleed. And they throw like a Gatorade cooler at the car and it crashes in the woods.
Hate when that happened.
Yeah, just a normal Friday afternoon in suburban America, football.
Then all the weird stuff starts happening.
Yeah, so Sam, who is injured in the car crash, bleeds into this weird red moss that's growing everywhere, and it gets onto the bones of Sarah Fear, because that's just a thing. How long does it take for bones to stop being bones?
A long time, I think. Like a really long time.
If they're not like preserved and stuff, does it still?
Yeah, there could still be some little bones. Maybe not as intact as they showed them, but but plus they might have been like cursed magic bones.
I guess that's yeah. So she bleeds on the bones, and it starts this curse. It starts a new curse because they already had the one.
Now they got another
the Skull Mask Killer. Now they got another one where, because Sarah Fear, who in the town's history was a witch, was killed by the pilgrims. She placed a curse on the town, and it was like as long as her body is disconnected from her hand that got chopped off. Like, bad shit's gonna happen forever. And so the bleeding on it sparks a new curse where it's all targeting Sam. And so everybody goes home after the car crash, after the football fight. I don't know why. It's just football fight. It's just going to stay with me forever now.
It's so funny.
She has visions of scary stuff, and then she's taken to a hospital, and her boyfriend of 1 week, I guess, is like she got hooked on somebody very quickly.
I mean,
it's compulsive heteronormative stuff. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
She's trying to cover up, but also that guy.
Yeah, that guy sucked.
Although I guess it's not too if I do think about it, like anytime somebody new moved and they were like attractive, it was like, oh yeah, popular guys making the moves right away. So I guess that's not too far outside the bounds of reality. So yeah, her boyfriend threatens that he's going to beat him up or kill him because they wrecked his dad's car. And they start seeing the killer from the beginning of the movie, who was shot dead. Like Scream, it's a popular, and Halloween, it's a popular Halloween mask. And so they're like, ugh, it's just Sam's boyfriend, like, pulling a prank on us.
A little prankerino. He's doing a little prank on them.
On both Dina and then also her friend, who is babysitting and getting the kids to sort medicines for her.
So...
Just like that part where she's talking to the kids and she's like,
and do not eat these. These will make your little heart stop and you'll choke to death and everyone will be so super sad. Got it?
It's so funny.
It's like you're not doing anything to endear this character to me.
No, but it's funny.
Yeah. So the killer shows up at both of their houses and doesn't do anything to Dina, just kind of like watches them for a while and disappears, but then shows up at the kid's house, the babysitting house, and starts attacking.
It's like pretty classic.
Yeah. And so they go to the hospital to confront Sam and be like, your boyfriend's a dingus and he's trying to hurt us.
And they meet up with the nurse that gives the kids all the drugs.
Nurse Betty.
Nurse Betty.
Fan favorite, Nurse Betty.
I love Nurse Betty. What a horrible person.
Dina and Sam talk, but Sam is like, no, boyfriend has been here all afternoon. Like, it's impossible for him to have, like, harassed y'all. And then everything goes bad and we start getting killed.
He shows up at the hospital.
He kills Nurse Betty, our favorite character.
He kills the boyfriend.
That part's kind of cool because they're like arguing, and then it's just like, bah,
stab.
He's dead. It's not the boyfriend. Boyfriend's dead.
He's dead.
But we don't know who it is yet.
But we learn soon.
Yes, time to regroup. Josh puts together from context clues and also Sam saying, I saw the witch. That maybe has something to do with the witch's curse.
Huh. Good deduction.
I don't know why I said that so snarkily.
You did. It's funny though.
Ruby is one of Shady Side's killers, just like Skull Mask. I mean, Ryan Torres. Look, 1978, 16 years ago. Mass psycho murders a bunch of kids at Camp
Nightwing. Yeah, my mom's sister was there. That screwed my family up for a long time.
1950, Harry Rooker. Local milkman slashes a bunch of housewives. 1935, Humpty Dumpty killer. 1922, Billy Barker. 1904, Grifter Guts girls, and on and on. It happens in Shady Side over and over. Normal people turn into psychos. Jesus.
So yeah, they figure that out. And then we kind of just get like a whole bunch of them running from different killers that the curse spawns. So we've got the skull mask one that we've seen since the beginning, but we're also introduced to two more in this first movie. So we have Ruby, who is from the 50s, and she sings a song, and she's got a razor blade.
She's
and she'll
pretty.
get you with it.
She's pretty.
She's very pretty. She killed her boyfriend and then probably a whole bunch of other people's, and she's got this big old scar on her face, just like my best friend, the Joker.
I thought you were gonna actually say just like my best friend. I was like, oh, who do you know? It's like
just like the Joker, just like Batman, the Dark Knight's the Joker.
We live in a society.
We live in a society. Lady Gaga's gonna be in the Joker too. I still haven't seen the first one.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
So yeah, we meet Ruby and also Baghead, teenage boy with axe.
Mm-hmm.
And he is very scary. He's like Jason. He's big.
He is
he's
scary.
Strong, and he will do a murder with his big old axe.
He's scary. I don't like him.
They try to go to the cops, but the cops don't listen. They think it's a big old joke.
Yeah, because they're like, these dead people are chasing us, and they're like, haha. Anyway, go home.
What kind of undead is it? Is it like a zombie or like the regular kind? Or whatever they ask.
Yeah.
The cops are not helpful.
No.
We also find out that Sheriff Good is just the worst because he's framing a janitor who works at the mall for spray painting stuff and admits it like to his face.
He sucks so much.
He's just like, those aren't my cans, and he's like, I know, they're mine.
Yeah, like why?
Okay. Nick Good is a bad man. Do you get it?
Oh.
It's ironic
Not
because
so
we live in a
good, is
society. And he's constantly like trying to get the kids to like tell him anything, even though he's like plagued that he doesn't believe it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, come on. You can tell me. He's just the worst.
He is the worst.
He's got big youth pastor energy.
Oh, yeah, he does. Ew.
And you said he looks like Jake Gyllenhaal.
He looks like he's trying to look like Jake Gyllenhaal. Like he really wants to be Jake Gyllenhaal.
It was like a mix of him and Bill from Barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
Which is Mr. Skarsgård.
Bill from Barbarian.
That movie, what was it? Is Barbarian coming back to the drive-in?
Oh.
I saw they were going to do like screenings of it or something, and I was like, I should tell Mint. I don't know if she'd want to watch that movie again.
I don't know.
I don't know if I want to watch that movie again.
The eyeball scene
neat.
at the end, I don't know if I could do that again. The eyeball stuff.
It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot to deal with. Yeah, they want to try to figure out how to kill the ghosts, which is as good a plan as any. So we get a whole lot of like, we get a set piece essentially where they go back to the school and they're arming themselves with Sam's blood because they figured out that like, oh, the reason why he went after Gross Dude is because he was wearing a tank top that still had Sam's blood on it from the previous night.
Yep.
And so they're going to protect Sam. They go to the school and they set up a trap to set them all on fire.
They're like, we
They're little arsonists.
We got a shower.
They gotta clean themselves up because they're covered in everybody's blood, essentially, with all the killings that are happening. And yeah, we get a scene where Sam and Dina make out. Josh and the other friend make out too because he's got a big old crush on her. And I don't think she has one on him, but she is like...
Yeah, she's like humoring it.
Yeah. Their relationship... Her relationship with people is just kind of weird because, like, you can't quite pick up the vibes of if she's dating the gross dude or not. It doesn't seem like it towards the end. I don't think
so. I think they're just, like, friends, but they're weird.
And I think they try to justify it later with his friend, with the friend's lines later where he's like, you don't understand. She's not a nice girl. Like, she only hangs out with you because she sees something. It's like, it's weird.
Yeah, he's weird.
It's a weird one.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get to make out scenes while he is dancing in his underwear in a bathroom.
I hate it.
And
like the dancing is weird.
It's so awkward. He's such a weirdo. I'm sure he was a blast on set.
Yeah.
It's like, It's like I probably knew guys like that, but I don't think I would be friends with them as a 27-year-old adult now, you know?
No.
Like if someone would still had that personality, I'd be like, I'm good.
Yeah, like,
No, thank
okay. Let's drop it.
you. I'm kind of with you where I'm like not a huge fan of like, here's teenagers and they're being spicy.
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
it's in a lot of slashers. Yeah. Like, I know teenagers are spicy. Like, I understand. But I don't need to see it anymore.
Right. So, like, there's that. But it's also, like, I think it was the first time I'd ever seen in, like, a quote-unquote teen or kid movie where, like, two girls actually were allowed to kiss.
Yeah, that's true.
For prolonged periods of time. So, it's, like, one of those things where it's like, but also, like, good for them.
Good for them.
Like, it's one of those conversations that I have a lot or often with like queer friends where it's like I'm really glad that kids are seeing a lot more representation and stuff, but also like there's a part of me that's a little jealous that like I couldn't have even begun to like dream of that when I was a kid.
That is a good point.
So yeah, it's good. Their relationship is like messy, but I mean, so are most teenage relationships.
Yeah, and they have the issue of like the mom being really homophobic.
Yeah. So I think for the once they get past that, like it's pretty
like, fine.
And the murders and stuff. It's like a healthy teenage relationship.
Yeah. And it wasn't like that raunchy of a scene. Like it was like fine.
Nah, it doesn't. I don't think I forget what happens. The monsters show up before anything else. Like the lights start flickering. Yeah. They're like, it's go time.
Yeah.
So yeah, they lure all the ghosts into the bathroom and they blow it up. And it works for like 2 seconds, but it's not over yet. And then they realize that somebody had survived a previous like curse killing spree thing. And they're like, we gotta find this person and figure out how they did it. And it turns out she died. But then she came back to life.
Yeah, she was like resuscitated.
Yeah. So we get to the like climactic scene where they're gonna try to get the ghost one more time, but they've gotta kill Sam in order to like make them go away. So everybody's gonna like distract. There's also there's a moment like before this in the high school where they almost like just leave Sam to the wolves. Like they're fully like they're after her, so like it's not our problem.
Yeah. Kind of rude.
And then they like change their mind because she's like, no, I'm totally willing to die for you guys, so y'all don't have to deal with this anymore. And they're like, oh dang, now we feel bad. So yeah, then we get to the grocery store where Gross Guy works. I don't remember his name. I think it's Simon.
I think it is, yeah.
Simon and oh gosh, what is her name? What's the smart drug girl's name?
I don't remember. I'm so bad at names.
I gotta look. Kate.
I like her. She's funny.
Yeah. Their plan is to get Sam to overdose on drugs, a whole lot of prescription meds, and then bring her back using EpiPens and stuff because Simon's brother overdosed and they brought him back. Yeah. And so they're like, this could work.
It's
and then
a
the ghosts
bad
show
idea.
up. And it all goes bad. And
it's a bad idea.
She's not able to finish the drugs, which does not look like a good time. Like,
no.
At all. She gets real sick to her stomach. And then the backup plan, the spur of the moment backup plan is to drown her in the lobster tank.
Yeah, that's also not great.
No. I mean, it works. It does work. We get the Kate dies. She's the one who gets pushed through the bread slicer.
That one is such a good kill.
And then Simon gets axed by big old bag boy.
The bread slicer is the best kill.
It really is. You got a skull mask. Your appearance was not that cool, but your kill was. So
yes,
you were forgiven. So yeah, Sam dies, and then through stabbing like 20 EpiPens in her chest and doing CPR, she comes back to life, and the ghosts disappear. I'm
pretty sure if you stab that many EpiPens into somebody's chest, that would kill them, actually.
I don't think it would be good.
It's adrenaline. Like, your heart is going to explode.
It seems like too much.
Yeah, but logistics. I guess it works.
It's okay. Or does it?
Or does
Because we cut back to Dina's house after they confront her homophobic mother, and the cops decide to pin all the murders on Kate and Simon.
This is gross.
And then the person who survived, C. Berman, calls them and is like, you guys survived, way to go. And then it's revealed that Sam is like still cursed, but now she's like got the killer one, not the killie.
Yeah.
So she attacks Dina and stabs her in the tum. And then they tie her up with phone cord. And that's the end of the movie.
Sad.
To be continued.
Now she's a killer. I like this movie. It's really fun.
I like it too. I think it's a good start. I feel like it's honestly the weakest in the series.
Oh.
Which is, I feel like it's saying something. Because like they just get better. They get better. And I think that has to do, I'm pretty sure they shot them all in order. So it's like, you know, of course they have that extra time by the time the third movie gets around to like really connect with each other and like know how each other is going to react to certain scenes and stuff.
Is it the same actors in the other ones?
Kind of.
Okay.
If I told you, it'd be spoiled.
Okay.
So
Fair.
We will see those in the future sequels.
Whoa. The future.
The future, where we go back to the past. Just like Marty McFly. I've never seen Back to the Future.
Oh, I saw it like once as a kid, but I don't remember. I know that the sequel has like mommy issues problems. Or is it the first one?
I don't know.
In one of them, like half of the plot is them trying to get one of the guys to not fuck his teenage mom.
I think that's the first one.
Is that the first one?
I think so.
What a
I think the first
horrible
one
plot.
they go to the 50s, the second one they go to the future, and then the third one is like a Western.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's the first one. Like, what the fuck?
That's so weird.
It's so weird. Why? Freud strikes again.
But Fear Street.
Nothing
It's real
Freudian in
good.
Fear Street, probably.
It's real good, and I'm excited for you to watch the rest of them.
I am too. I'm very excited. I've been watching a lot of horror lately because I just haven't felt like playing games. So I'm very excited to watch these.
Yeah, it'll be good. We'll watch the next one very soon.
Yay!
Oh, they've already also like confirmed a director for a Fear Street 4.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know if that is going to be a standalone or if it's going to be like another trilogy, but it's neat.
That'll be really cool.
It's neat. I tend to like Netflix horror stuff.
Me too.
With an asterisk. Like I like all of Mike Flanagan's stuff, and Stranger Things I think definitely falls into that category technically.
Mm-hmm.
So like there for a
Stranger
while
Things.
they were really working to add horror to their collection.
Yeah.
And I think that's neat.
It is neat.
I think that's it for now.
I'm proud of us for not covering all three at the same time.
Look at us go, and we
Look at
got a
us.
full episode out of it.
Yeah, we learned our lesson until we do it again.
Until next time, when we're gonna watch something with like 8 or 9 or like double digit.
Saw.
And yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Actually,
The first Saw is solid.
solid.
Solid. Okay, anyway.
Yeah. And that's we'll probably get the second episode up before the end of Pride, but
Yes.
Y'all are doing great.
Have a
And
good
I'm
Pride.
proud of you.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Please take care of yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye. You have been listening to Monster Masquerade. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to let us know somewhere on the internet and consider sharing the show with a friend. If you have a suggestion or topic you'd like to see us discuss, hop on over to our Patreon to unlock exclusive bonus content and do just that. And we'd super appreciate it if you could leave us a review on iTunes. It's the fastest way to help the show grow. You can find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you find podcasts.